Hello everyone, welcome to Liam's Lyceum. I'm your host Liam, aka Himvar, and today I am going to be doing another book tag. It has been a hot minute, and I got tagged by Amanda from Strange Mentality Paper to do the Shakespeare book tag, uh, which I think was created by Wild Book Garden several years ago, but at least that's what I found out, I think. So again, I don't do tags all that often anyways, and tags have kind of fallen out of popularity on BookTube somewhat. I guess if I am on BookTube, technically. So yeah. Anyways, I thought I would do this though, since I didn't. Well, I had several thoughts to record something today, but none of them were coming together. So this was somewhat easier. So it is Shakespeare's, all Shakespeare themed. That is, and yeah. So let's just get to it. There's 10 questions, 10 prompts, whatever you want to call them. So we got Much Ado About Nothing. Your favorite bickering couple whom everyone knows really care about each other. It can be a romantic relationship or friendship. And so I decided to go with Fafhrd the Grey Mouser. Anyone who watches my channel will not be surprised by this, especially if you know what the books are about. It's about Fafhrd and the Grey Mouser. They're not a romantic couple at all, but they are bros, basically, right? It's a bromance. And it is the best one I've ever read. There are some other really good ones, but this is one of the best one, in my opinion. So um, it is funny because they sometimes like don't like each other, right? They get in these little fights and then they end up like going to the same place in a couple occasions, right? So it's pretty fun. But they're like basically best bros, even though they're not always getting along with each other. I think it's Lords of Cornwall and Besties and Lankmar, those connections, and then Lean Times and Lankmar, where they're like, I don't like you, but then they actually still do. So anyways, yeah, Fall from the Grey Mouser by Fritz Leiber. This is a bind up of the first two books, I think. Maybe it's first three. Memory of Fritz Leiber. Yeah, I guess it's just the first two. There's an introduction by Michael Moorcock in here. Cool. All right. And then Measure for Measure, a book whose plot or genre is really hard to explain to other people. So I just go with the Wooden Sword since I just finished this. It does not give me sword and sorcery vibes or really Tolkien vibes. It seems almost modern or like postmodern, I guess, if you want to. It's very interesting because it's definitely just not what you think it would be about, and it's kind of hard to describe. It's almost a tragedy, um, but it is not as epic as even the blurb makes it sound. Uh, in fact, I would just ignore the blurb. Even the title is a little misleading. There's a wooden sword, but it's just not as important as what the title would suggest. So I like Lynn Abbey's stuff a lot. So she definitely seemed to be exploring, I would say, sexism here, or the patriarchy, I guess, if you wanted. So yeah, wooden sword. I'm a fan. I just finished this last night actually, so that's why it's something that's easily easy to talk about in some ways. All right. A Midsummer's Night Dream, your favorite book featuring fairies or elves. So I'm gonna go with. I mean, there's a lot I could recommend, but it asks for my favorites, and so my favorite be The Children of Hurin by J.R. Tolkien. I realize this. You cannot see these words. There's the title, The Children of Hurin. Okay. The first of the Great Tales takes place in the First Age of Middle Earth. This is a tragedy as well, actually. So really good stuff. Probably my favorite Tolkien book, hence why I didn't put The Lord of the Rings here, though. Lord of the Rings is a close second. Baron Luthien is so good too, though. Man, okay. Hamlet, an underutilized female character. I think you're talking about what's her name, Ophelia. I think. Anyways, so I was gonna go with Deja Thoris and Princess of Mars by Edgar Rice Burroughs. This is her on the cover. Scandalous because she's naked. Everyone is naked on Mars, though. By the way, just a big scandal. Anyways, no. She's basically the damsel in distress for the first three books. More so in the second and third book. And it's just she seems pretty competent to an extent. So it's just a tad bit annoying that we just have John Carter is the main character here. He is the hero. The book was written in 1912 or something ridiculously old like that. So it's not surprising, but I wish she had been used a little bit more. Yeah, so that'd be cool. I need to read Jane Carver of War because that's Nathan Long's like spoof of Princess of Mars, I think. So, and then let's see the sonnets. Choose your favorite poem. That is like extremely abstract, but to stick with the fantasy theme, I thought I would go with. It's not actually not in here as far as I'm aware, um, but you can find it for free online, and that is the Hashish Eater, or is also called The Apocalypse of Evil. And that is by Clark Ashton Smith, of course. I don't think it's in here. Let me double check. They have Amathane in here. That's such a good one. The Hashish Eater. It is in here. Okay, it's on page 304. Okay, that's cool to know though. I read a lot of the stuff online because, like I said, you can read just about every Clark Ashton Smith story on eldritchdark.com. So the Hashish Eater is just wild. It's basically the creation of the Lovecraft Circle. This looks like it's an excerpt, though. This doesn't even look... Yeah, that's not the whole Hashish Eater. There's no way. Maybe it is, though. Maybe it is. No, that is the whole thing. Yeah, it's pretty long. Okay. And bloats against the limits of the world with lips of flame that open. Anyways, that's how it ends. But such a good poem. So good. It is the longest poem I've shared for Poetry Thursday. It's 25 minutes. There's a few other recordings of it on YouTube as well. Mine is the shortest. So, anyways, Richard III, a protagonist willing to do anything to get what they want. I read a lot of books like that. But I would say maybe David C. Smith's Sometime Lofty Towers, Hanlon, main character. Definitely a revenge story. Definitely a revenge story. It's also got like themes of Orientalism and colonialism. Kind of in here. Maybe less so Orientalism. Definitely colonialism. So very good book. It just is kind of like not very popular, sadly. Such a good book, though. Such a good book. I love this book. So yeah, you should read this book. It's not very long. 186 pages. So it is modern sword and sorcery, though. It is really good. I don't think most people who watch my channel would be disappointed if they read that. Wait, Antony and Cleopatra, your favorite trope, bookish buzzword, historical figure, etc., for which you saw and found the perfect book. I was going to go with bookish buzzword, and I was going to go with philology. Now, is that bookish exactly? No. I mean, the perfect book, I guess, in some sense, could be like The Lord of the Rings or anything by Tolkien because he was a philologist. And Broder's stuff isn't bad either because he was also a philologist. But I was thinking like where the philology is a little bit more overt, and that would probably best come to light in like dark academia. I don't read dark academia. If there's a book about dark academia besides one I'm going to mention later in this video, then I would be surprised. About philology, dark academia book about philology. Anyways, so Titus Andronicus, a lesser known work by a popular author, one which you want more people to read. So I'm just going to go with Blood Follows by Stephen Erickson, since I've been reading a lot of Erickson the past couple weeks. Blood Follows is actually the first book I read by him. A lot of people say you should not read it first. I will say yes, you can, and there's no reason not to. And this is a novella of sorts. It's really small, and it's really absurd. It's definitely homage to Fafhrd and the Grey Mouser, which I mentioned first. It's about two necromancers, but it's told from the point of view of an everyman. So they're very fun, and I don't know, just a lot of people that read Malazan maybe haven't read these. I'm not really sure because I don't know. I could be wrong on that, right? But theirs are very fun. I don't see really anyone talking about them, and that's just because there's some sword and sorcery hate going online. Anyways, it's not actual hate. It's just most people don't even know what it is. Anyways, that's why I'm here. Anyways, King Lear, a complete a complex female villain or anti-hero. So I wanted to go with the lady from the Black Company. This is marked because I'm studying this for something, but I already read the whole thing. The Black Company by Glenn Cook. The lady in here, I guess you could even say more so in the first three books, which are Shadows Linger and The White Rose after this one. It's such a good book, and the lady is a very interesting character. So she's rather complex. It's very interesting the way she ties in with like evil, like if characters are evil or not. So yeah, that's the one. basically. And then the last question, The Taming of the Shrew. Choose two polarizing books, one you loved and one you hated. So, real quick, I want to go over the one I hated. Absolutely hated? No, it was just extremely disappointing. It was my least favorite read of last year. I don't want to talk too much about it. That is R.F. Kuang's Babel, or Babel, I guess, if you want. It says it's a masterpiece up here. That person does not know what they're talking about, because this is pretty subpar as far as books go. It is extremely overt, and it's you know colonialist takes, which is fine. It's a little overdone because becomes absurd. It doesn't make any sense actually in the end. But it's also just like, actually, that's the big problem. Basically, once it finds its plot, it's all a colonialist, post-colonialist plot, and it sucks. So, but what I mentioned earlier is philology. This actually mentions philology. I can't remember if I think it does mention the word philology in here, but it definitely doesn't focus on it like it should have. It likes to focus on linguistics, which was not a field of study, by the way, when this book takes place. So that's a little embarrassing. She also gets an etymology wrong in this book, which is also embarrassing. I mean, and like that happens. Okay, like it's not embarrassing to get an etymology wrong. It's embarrassing to publish it. Do you know what I mean? I read a poem the other day that says, it was some poem called Crib, I think, and it said the word crib comes from the Greek word for like plating or like weaving. I was like, that is not true. Like crib is an English word. It's not from Greek at all, actually. So you messed up. But so that's just a little embarrassing, right? Like, don't you think that's embarrassing? I think that's embarrassing. It's just like fell apart. This is one book that I thought had some potential, and it just ended up being pretty poopy. So I know some people like it, but yeah, it's subpar at best. Right, and then one book I really enjoyed. This is probably my favorite book of the year so far. This is Lavi Tidar's Central Station. So of course I'm going to contrast it with that. Such a good book. So awesome. It's a fix-up novel too, which is even cooler because we don't get enough fix-up novels these days. Shame on you, all you people. Anyways, no, no. Central Station is awesome. Second Lavi Tidar I've read, and I'm reading a third one right now. Actually, I just finished this like 2 weeks ago, maybe less than that. So yeah. Anyways, this is so good. Central Station. It's like cyberpunk in Israel, but it's also got vampires, and it is almost like magical realism as well. So read it, read it. Yeah, that's the questions though. There's one more little prompt for tagging people. Give me your hands if we be friends. Tag some people. See, I always don't like tagging people because I tend to tag people and then they don't do it anyways. But sometimes I guess I can tag people just for the heck of it. T also got tagged in this tag from Strange Mentality Papers video, and I don't know who's gonna tag, if anyone. So I always put this one out there, but Owen, I guess, from Owen Edwards. If you want to do this, I have not done a tag in so long. It's been a minute. I was never good at tagging people, anyways. But anyways, it's been Liam from Liam's Lyceum. Let me know what you think of my answers, I guess. I'm hoping to get a new webcam soon because I don't like. I like the audio quality that filming on my computer has brought to my videos, but I don't like the video quality. The video quality is better on my phone. The audio quality was just worse. So I'm thinking about getting a webcam to fix that because it's just the default webcam, and it's not very flattering. It's not very good. So anyways, I will catch you next time.